It's a tough world out there. And it's getting tougher all the time. It's you that has to change.
Something amazing happened.
What was your favorite thing about your character?
My favourite thing about Alex is that he doesn't give up. You know, when he has something in mind, he doesn't stop until he's completed it.
My favourite thing about Kay is her strength, but also her sensitivity. Even though she's a bully at the beginning of the film, we kind of see her development and she becomes Lady Kay.
Mine would be that he was doing what he did for other people. It was not about him. It was bringing benefits to someone else that lay behind everything that he does, and that was important for me, particularly as there will be a lot of young people seeing the film.
You know, the movie's about these very modern kids exposed to these ancient notions of chivalry and perseverance and love and honour, all these ideas that existed in Arthurian times. And what King Arthur did in the legend was he united the warring tribes of Britain. So our movie starts with these kids that are very opposed to each other. One's bullying the other. They're very kind of competitive, as kids often are, you know, at that stage of life. And then just like King Arthur, my character has to turn his enemies into his allies, and in the end they have to work together to beat this medieval menace.
Why would we help you?
Because you're the strongest people I know. You're my knights, and this is the round table.
I loved the opening animated sequence.
Cool.
Talk to me about the decision to open that way and who did it for you?
Well, I always knew I wanted to start with a kind of primer on the legend so that you can come and see this film and even if you know nothing about King Arthur. And the movie has this thing going through it about a book that the boy's inherited from his absent father that he kind of cherishes. And we wanted the book to come to life at the beginning of the movie, so it starts with this animated sequence of the book come to life. And then, of course, as the movie unfolds, the whole thing's reinvented and the book is reinvented. So the story of the movie really kind of undoes that legend that you see at the beginning.
What if you're the only person who could have pulled that sword out? What if it's Excalibur?
One thing that we both loved in the movie were Merlin's arm movements. And I'm just curious where they came from. Who came up with that idea? And
It was Angus Imrie who
It was,
played
wasn't it?
young
Yes.
Merlin.
Because Angus had this like movement coach, and together they created this duplication sort of hand movement, and then you had to look.
Yes, and Angus taught it to me.
We worked with this brilliant woman called Jennifer White who does a lot of this kind of thing for movies, and she, Angus and I invented this language of stuff that I cannot do. Right. But Angus is brilliant.
Yes, and Angus taught it to me because they were already shooting the movie when I came on board. And what made it difficult, you couldn't just do anything because there was a very specific pattern of movements that had to be repeated.
I came across the idea that if you're an avatar in virtual space, you can code numbers just by moving your body. So I thought, okay, I can use that for this. What if Merlin is actually adjusting the elements by using the positions of his hands in the air? And I also thought it would be rhythmic.
I'll fetch some food. A reward for once you've vanquished your foes.
what was the hardest scene to film and why, specifically?
Well, there's one scene when we're on the cliff top, on the very edge of the cliffs, and below us there is the ocean pounding up against all of the rocks. Well, we weren't. We were on the back lot of the studio. And that's one of the hardest things with contemporary filmmaking today, when you have to imagine where it is and incorporate that as truthfully as you can into the work you do.
After I saw The Goonies, I was convinced that if I go to Oregon, I can find all those tunnels.
Right.
They used practical sets in a way that you do also.
Well, it was important for me to use the real landscape because, you know, Britain is full of this incredible history and archaeology and standing stones from ancient times, all these castles. And it struck me that it could be fun to show kids that those things aren't boring and old. They're like magical. It's like real magic existing in the world. And that's true of all history, really, whatever country you're in. So I like the idea of bringing that stuff to life again.
Who will join us? This is the best and the worst thing that's ever happened.
All hail the once and future king.
Please don't. It's embarrassing.